So I think I know a lot of folks here, but I see some new names, and that's always wonderful. We, over the course of the last 5 or 6 meetings, it's frequently brought up. Just depending, we have speakers and guests from the county helping us understand the shifts and changes that are going on at the county. But people have been asking, like, what do I want to do something? What can I do? What can we do? What do we work on? How do we undo this damage? How do we take back the Senate? And, thinking big, how do we take back the Senate and the House? How do we get a good Democratic Party ready to fight back, that's united and not divided? And so that's kind of the nexus for this meeting is that subject and that topic. And on the heels of the wonderful work that Indivisible is doing, and with the hands-off day at the county building and in Watsonville, and I went we rode the train to Sacramento, and I read a book from start to cover. It was great. And we met a whole train load of people carrying signs. So that was fun too. But so that's kind of what the subject of this meeting is how do we fight back? There's just new assaults every day. How do we not get overwhelmed and throw our hands up? And how do we have conversations with people that are less engaged? So on that note, am I leaving anything out, Barry? So Amanda is here with Jenny Evans, Amanda Harris Altice from Indivisible
Altice.
Santa Cruz. Yeah, Altice from Indivisible Santa Cruz County, who Amanda is just working literally around the clock. I try not to ask Amanda any questions because I know she's so busy. And Jenny Evans also here. So I know you have a presentation. Feel free to take it away from here. Share it. If we need to share screen or anything, let us know. Barry's our technical wizard.
Screen sharing is available now.
Screen sharing is available now. So who all here was somewhere on Saturday? Hands offing. That's great. It wasn't raining or snowing or blowing a gale, so that was good. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Okay, so Amanda and Jenny, I'll let you take it from here.
All right, I'm gonna do the screen share thing. Can you all see that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so Jenny is gonna start us off. Thank you all for having us.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Just to start, I would tell you I have a really, really, really bad cold. And I didn't raise my hand because I was sick on Saturday. So I couldn't go. I didn't want to spread my germs. So anyway, if I sound really froggy, that's because I'm getting over the cold. But anyway, I'm happy to be here to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing. We're Indivisible Santa Cruz County. And you can go to the next slide because our main thing is to take action. That's what we tell all of our new members, that we're here to take action. And it can be a simple action of writing a postcard. That doesn't really matter. It's just do something. So we're connected to the leadership in DC. We at our first meeting in December that we had at the MAW, which was really successful, we had Ezra and Leah, who are the head of Indivisible. They sent us a video and spoke just to Santa Cruz people, and that was pretty exciting. We are looking at current issues, quite a few of those, and we have action toolkits and action guides that we draw from. So the best thing to do, if all of you have not joined ISCC, then you can go to our website and become a member. And we send out newsletters on a weekly basis now. We have rapid response actions. We protest and rallies extremely successful one on Saturday, which I was so sad to not be at. Postcards to voters. I'm in charge of the postcards to voters. We connect with Commit to Democracy, which is a Bay Area organization. And they send us postcards and names and addresses. And then my partner, Margaret Collins, and I distribute them from our front porch. So all you have to do is sign up on our website, and then you can, we'll give you a packet of postcards. Protests. Many of you were at our protests on Saturday, which was super successful. We also have bridge brigades, and we've been doing that for a long time, for probably 8 years, where we go to bridges and hold signs and big flags, and people going under the bridge will see whatever issue we're trying to get out to the public. With these big signs. We also coordinate with ARRT, Artists Respond and Resist Together, and they do a lot of our big signs. So as well as many other art related things. They also held a sign making event right before the Saturday, on Friday before the Saturday rally. And I think 100 people showed up to make signs. So that's really great. Okay, next sign, yeah. Also protests in Sacramento, like the one on Saturday. Many of our members went to Sacramento, and I guess it was amazing. And that's organized nationally by 5051, which most of you know about. Some great signs. Okay. So our next national mobilization is going to be on April 19th. And instead of doing a rally like we did on Saturday, we thought maybe it would be more of a rapid response kind of mobilization where we invite people to come to Ocean Street, and we'll simply line up with our signs. And we're hoping that enough people will come that we'll just fill both sides of Ocean Street all the way up and down. And then we can stand there and with our signs and make quite a spectacle of ourselves as cars drive by. Okay. That's yeah.
Yeah, and then
Just
they're trying to schedule these every couple of weeks, which is a little bit overwhelming to think about. So we're kind of looking for folks to take the lead and help with stuff and volunteer. We haven't set up forms and stuff to collect information, but you can send us an email. We'll have all that information at the end as well. So May 5th, and it's going to be kind of like a May Day union themed protest. But we don't have any more details right now, but just as like save the dates for things coming up. And then the Hands Off protest also had over 160 organizations nationally that were part of it. So they're continuing the coalition, and 5051 is kind of like leading the charge on that, along with Indivisible nationally. So it's a lot of grassroots effort behind all this stuff that's driving it. So it also, for me, makes me feel good to like see that list of like, you all saw hopefully some news and footage of Saturday, but it's also just like the organizing and people that aren't able to show up or make it that are making these things happen across the country. So that also feels good to see that. Yep. Jenny?
Okay, and then again, here are the postcards to voters, and you'll see Commit to Democracy. They do a phenomenal job of getting out postcards to people. Santa Cruz alone sent 52,000 postcards last year, and that we were like the star because they have many, many Bay Area hubs. And Santa Cruz, they kept asking us, what are you doing? And basically, we just got it out in our newsletter, and people signed up, and it was very popular. So we're grateful to all the postcard writers in Santa Cruz. Oh, and yeah, we are giving out postcards for District 22, and we're informing voters in District 22 of Medicaid cuts, because many of that district are on Medicaid, and we want to make sure they know, so they're primed for voting in 2026 to get rid of Valadeo. So these are the tools that we use to call our electeds. 5 calls is super easy to use if you haven't used it. It gives you call scripts and on all kinds of different issues, and it dials the number of our of Panetta and also the 2 senators, and then you can tell them what you want to tell them, or you can just read from the script. And also ResistBot is another a tool that you can use for texting to sign petitions and to write to your members of Congress. And you can also still always call, send emails, and write letters directly to our electeds. And so we were successful in getting Panetta to come and give us a town hall, and we had to put a lot of pressure on him to do that, because he mostly was doing telephone town halls, which we thought he should be in person. And he also met with a group from Indivisible, so we got to get him to listen to some of our concerns, and that was
Your cat coming to all of our meetings?
Jenny, I'm sorry to interrupt, but how does the resist bot work? I've not used that.
I
use it.
Yeah, Amanda, because I don't use it, but
I use it all the time because I hate making phone calls.
Yeah.
So you just text resist. See on the little yellow graphic, text the word resist to 50409, and you put in your address. It'll pull up all your representatives, and then it'll just walk you through. They have kind of like a fancier sort of chat thing that they do now that you can get, and you just text it, and then it says what issues. If you're not sure, you're like, oh gosh, what do I even write about? It'll prompt you, and you can just say that you want the list of issues, and then you just pick them. And it does work. And it's been like, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks since I've written to them. But I've had like Schiff and Padilla respond within like 24 hours with the official letter. So they do get them, even though it seems, but this is what I've used for years. I mean, I do call sometimes, but.
You mean we could do it like right now on our phone?
Oh yeah, I've literally shown someone in the grocery store, and we sent a letter to our representatives in like a minute in the grocery store at the deli counter waiting for our orders. That's how easy it is. And I got the letter confirming they had received that from the grocery store send the next day. It comes, I get the email with the official letterhead. So it's just that easy. And then you can also, as Jenny said, do petitions. And then they have a social media feature where it creates a graphic for you, and you can post it on your social media to get other people to sign the petition as well. And then at the end, when the petition closes, then they send the entire petition to whoever it's for. So whatever representative it's for. So it's a grassroots group. I think they're in the Bay Area. They started like in 2017. Very small, and it's grown over time. So it's same with 5 Calls. 5 Calls was another kind of grassroots startup at one point. And they both, I'm glad, stuck around and have a lot to offer.
Yeah, and I use 5 Calls. It's just, I too did not like to make phone calls, but 5 Calls makes it so easy, So
yeah, they really do. And at one point, a long time ago in the previous iteration, we had our own Indivisible. They made us our own page at one point that was specific to us that we had on our website. But now you just put in your zip code. That was kind of before you could specialize it a little more.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very exciting.
Okay, that brings us to one of the things that we've been doing this year, and that's we formed what we call issue teams. And issue teams are simply different areas that we are stressing that where we want actions to take place. And we have asked our members to join the issue team that they feel that they're comfortable joining. And these teams meet weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending on the team, with all of their members, and then they come up with real actions. So the issue teams are economy, education, civil rights, immigration, media and communications, which is they call MAC, environmental issues, Indivisible California State Strong, health and human services, foreign relations, and the newest one, which is Social Security, which was formed when Amanda and I did a presentation at North County Democratic Club. And someone raised their hand and said, why isn't Social Security there? And we looked at each other and said, wow, yeah, well, you can form one. So they formed it that night, and they had a sign up list. People signed up. They got about 10 people to sign up. And I sent them information of what to do after they formed the group, which is basically call a meeting and have an agenda and write minutes and form, and then get another meeting going, schedule another meeting. And they have done that. And I understand that they now have about 70 members on that team. So they just went gung ho. They're just doing all kinds of things. So
the reason that we structure the group like this is because there's obviously like just too many issues and too many things for one person to keep up with. I mean, it's just constant. So we ask people, and they don't have to stick to these groups. They can belong to more than one. We're happy to like let people do whatever they want to, what interests them. And so that's how we're kind of structured and why we have it set up that way. And we look to our groups to kind of do the research and digest like everything that falls under that topic to surface actions and things of interest to people. So then what Jenny and I, our role along with Angela is to kind of like, we kind of help run the sort of digital admin stuff. So we like run the email list and social media and the communications. So we look to all these 10 issue teams to surface actions and information to us that we can then share out with our mailing list. So that's kind of why we're structured that way. It's like, so it's very bottom up. I like to say it's like a funnel. So it all kind of comes down to us to like, uplift those things. But yeah, that's why we kind of have the structure, and we don't really dictate what gets formed. We had a starting point and suggestions for these, so we're not limited to them.
Yeah. And if we compare it to, it's like walking into a big room, which is Indivisible Santa Cruz County, and then there's 10 doors. You can go into the economy door, the education door, the civil rights door. And inside those doors are where the actions are created. And I can tell you just quickly, we had a report from all the facilitators of the teams last night at our Indivisible steering committee meeting. And just quickly, I can just tell you some of the things they're doing. For example, education. They are the teams are going to school boards to highlight issues about DEI, LGBTQ, etc. And they're organizing postcarding and working with Cabrillo College stroke centers. And that's education. And again, you don't have to, in these groups and these teams, they don't have to do everything because they're big, broad groups, but they can choose those things that they want to focus on. Civil rights, which is my group, we right away decided we wanted to focus on this new horrible voting rights bill that's coming up, HR 22, the SAVE Act. So this small team, which has grown to about 30 people now, but it started off with about 8 of us, we were demonstrating on the corner of Ocean and Water Street with our signs about HR 22 and how devastating that act will be if it's passed, which I guess is coming up for a vote this week. Economy, collecting data on increasing prices of consumer goods. And then California State Strong is keeping ahead of the bills that will affect prices, and immigration, which is a very large team, I think more than 45 people. They're networking with YAR. They're getting trainings, and they're distributing red cards. I think they printed out 10,000 red cards for immigrants so they know their rights. They're exploring tabling at local farmers markets, and they're educating about switching from social services to become politically active. Then the media and communications are focusing on internal communicating, that's in our group, and also with helping on new signups and adding reports to weekly newsletter. And they're also distributing a survey about people's where they get their news. Social Security, they're just planning a lot of events and very enthusiastically. And environment, they're a small team, but they're mighty, focusing right now on making sure regulations don't go away. And they're organizing an effort to write letters to the Coastal Commission, which Justin Cummins is the chair of, but he may not remain being the chair. So someone else may be appointed. So they are writing letters saying that they support Justin to remain chair of that committee. So anyway, that's it for the issue teams. If you have any questions.
I don't see any in the chat, but obviously the first thing we should do is the first action would be to sign up for your email communication, right?
Sign up to be a member, right?
Sign up to be a member so that we can hear about all this fabulous stuff.
I have some questions in chat if you want to review.
Oh, I don't see it. I'm sorry.
Could you send a link out through your email chain?
Oh yeah,
Shouldn't need it.
I'm sending these notes. Yeah, we're gonna
Okay, so
get
we
it
can work
together.
through that. That'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed those.
Do they know if April 19th will have the Watsonville location as well? Need to share info to other groups? And how do we go about joining a team? I'd like to help with immigration issues from Leslie.
Oh, well, if you want to join a team, I'm sort of the coordinator between the teams. So, and I think it's on the website, but you can just let me know with your name and email at Jenny@Indivisible Santa Cruz County.com. And then I will send your name to the facilitator of the group or groups you're interested in joining. Then that facilitator, when they get your name, they will get in touch with you and tell you when the next meeting is. They'll welcome you and tell you when the next meeting will be that you can attend.
Is it Indivisible Santa Cruz County.com?
Yeah. Jenny@Indivisible Santa Cruz County.com.
Thank you. I'll put it in chat for those who.
Yeah.
If you want to join the education one, just talk to me.
Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you, by the way. It was, I think Sunday, it was yesterday, I was heading home and there was a group of people on the corner right where Starbucks is at the
That's
courthouse.
the civil rights group.
And
Yeah.
what was really helpful was they were facing the traffic coming from the north to the south on water. And they had a big enough sign that said join Indivisible and the information.
Yeah.
And I thought that is perfect. Really getting more people to know how to get signed up.
That's one of their first concerns. They also made little flyers that they wanted to give out to people about how to join Indivisible, and they felt they took it upon themselves. That's what's so amazing about the little groups is that they are the ones who did come up with the ideas, and and then they get very excited about it. It's also community building. I mean, I've just watched the civil rights group. I mean, we didn't know each other at all, and now we're texting all the time, and they're enthusiastic about meeting together, and it's just really fun to watch. So yeah, that was their idea, and we just go with whatever they want to do.
And something that had me think about, more outreach or making sure that it doesn't become an echo chamber, which I think that's great, that activity, is I was at the garden center and it was a young person, in their 20s, a student. They're totally, totally excited about being a part of something that would help. They didn't even know the hands-off event was happening. So when they heard about it, they're like, "Oh, how do I get involved?" So that just got me to think that there's still a lot of people who don't know who want to.
There are, yeah, there are, but our numbers are growing, and word of mouth, and social media helps spread it. And one of our, not criticisms, but something people often ask is, where are the young people? And that's a challenge because they're busy, really, really busy doing their young people thing. And a lot of them aren't quite aware of some of the devastating things that are going on. So I feel like it's only a matter of time.
I think a lot of them are just working to try to survive right
They
now.
are.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
And we have, and it's always hard. Community building always takes a lot of time, and it's all relational. So it's hard to, at some points in time, we have relationships with different groups, and then people get busy, move on, so it's hard to maintain relationships and connections to every single group. In UCSC, like, we can connect with students and we can have like relationships, but then, the turnover a lot of times is every 4 years, unless you can kind of get in with faculty, and even they get busy and just overwhelmed as well. So we've tried to, as much as possible, connect with people that we can to kind of include more younger folks. So we definitely are trying to work on that.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of folks speak who were younger, both college age, on Saturday, which was good. So we hope to kind of continue to maintain relationships with those groups.
And I will, in addition to Indivisible, Swing Left Santa Cruz County also has a very busy chapter. The woman, Rhonda, who's the lead, it was out of town and is dealing with family matters when was unable to come tonight. But Swing Left was really busy in the last election. If you canvassed in Reno or Sparks, Nevada, or anything like that, to hold on to Jackie Rosen's seat, which they did. They were successful. She was running against that incredibly horrible vet, Stephen Awful person, and terribly rotten MAGA, very bad, farther than far right. Somebody don't like him. I don't like him. And but so they were able to hold that seat, and then they also were very busy in is it CD13 to get Adam Gray elected by 187 votes. So they are just getting ready to launch the 2026 strategy plan for canvassing in places like you were mentioning in the San Joaquin Valley in this 22nd district. So there will be a lot of hi, sweet kitty. There will be a lot of postcards, canvassing, walking, and organizing. And I'll share their contact, and maybe at another time, Rhonda can come either to the DCC and loop people in that way. They have a website that I will send out to everybody, and you can see a lot of the success that they had. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but they go to purple places and take those close races and flip them blue. So that will be the next task. And to have anybody in the Modesto Merced area that's blue, that's a pretty big, there were a lot of losses in the last election, but there were a couple of close calls, and that was a pretty amazing lift.
Mhm.
And yeah, so if for no other reason than just to stay connected to what Swing Left is doing, and read their materials, sign up where you can. They're very organized with like transportation to going to some of these places to do a lot of canvassing and walking, phone banking, all that kind of stuff too. So Renee, our contact who kept us abreast for 4 or 5 years, has moved to San Francisco, but there's still a Swing Left Santa Cruz County that's going to be working very hard. Not really focused on anything here because we're so blue, but they go out and fight the fight.
I'd just like to mention, I started a few weeks ago when there was some clear weather standing on the La Fonda Street Bridge, which I think your bridge brigade does. I just do it by myself. And I've had a couple of surprises. One of them is the number of young folks that have slowed their cars down a little. And the traffic does it for me, so I don't have to do much. And I do it Friday afternoons for about an hour, hour and a half. I don't go over. But when you were saying young people involved, I've been so much shocked by the number of kids that are waving their hands out, getting excited.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I mean, I've had also the couple of the kind of the whatever supporters do a few things. But what shocked me was just a simple sign. So you've got so many things that are going on, and every day it changes. And my wife didn't think people would know what no was. And I just said, I want it simple. I don't want it complicated. And people beep all the time. So the weather's nice, so I'll just keep doing it for my hour, hour and a half on Fridays. And you kind of get an intimate feeling of the people because it's just you and them. And sometimes people give me the victory sign. I don't know what good it does, but it has surprised me the variety of reactions I've gotten other than just the anger you get from a lot of the folks.
Thank you, Joe. I mean, it's hard to know. It's better than doing nothing, and doing something and feeling better and getting people inspired is a lot. It's something.
Yeah.
So that's to be commended without any lead or organization, just going out there on your own.
Yeah.
A man of few words.
And sore feet too.
The half victory songs you have to watch out.
Yeah. The middle finger. Yeah.
I don't.
There's
When you're
no
up there, you frankly are a little safer too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the last slide, but we didn't mention that we're having a general meeting. This will be our 4th general meeting on April 30th, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at London Nelson. So if any of you want to come, we'll have a sign up, we'll put out a newsletter. But that's when we can, again, get reports from our issue teams of what they've been doing and some of their successes and some of their plans. So if you are interested in coming, we welcome you. We had a full house, the last one.
Is that like from 7 to 9 or
7 to 9?
12?
7 to 9.
Okay. Great.
I have a standing meeting that Wednesday every month. I'm wondering if you've talked about alternating it, or is it just get a good turnout on that Wednesday night, so you stick with that?
Well, a lot of it has to do with getting the place, the London Nelson Center, because we get the auditorium and the multi-use room. Before the last time we used the multi-use room for overflow crowd, and we also live streamed it. But I don't know, we might use it another way, but we have these 2 rooms. So because we have so many people are interested. So that's, we thought about the Civic, but the Civic, they're totally booked up. So.
And it's really expensive.
Yeah, it's real expensive.
But we
And
did
like-
live stream, and we'll probably try and live stream
Yeah.
again. So the recording's on our YouTube channel. And then Lonnie, you know how to reach me. So if there's something specific, we can get you plugged in too.
Yeah.
So if you watch the video and you're like, we have people that reach out afterwards and they're like, oh, I want to do that thing, then you can reach out after watching
Yeah.
the live stream too. So
Yeah.
it's not like we don't take any more after the live
No.
stream's over. So
Having the live stream is fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for everything you're doing. You're giving people hope. People really felt hopeless. And I know there were people that came in tears to the event on Saturday. It's so important that we have hope and see the light.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And joining a group is the best way to get the hope, because if you're doing things and you're with people that feel the same way, then it makes you feel so much better.
And doing something rather than the news cycle.
Yeah.
I used to have straight hair. The news cycle frizzed my hair.
Yeah.
If anybody's looking for anything else out of town to do, on April 12th at the Auburn Fairgrounds, AOC and Bernie Sanders are doing their town hall. And it's not too far. And if you have family in Sacramento or something, you can stay there. I think it's I'll add that link. I mean, I know it's out of town and whatnot, but if you're looking for inspiration, they're packing thousands and thousands of people. They are packing red places, which is
amazing.
And Auburn is dark red. I would love to get tickets to that.
Yeah.
April 12th.
I thought they were also going to be in LA too.
They are. I think just before
I
that.
don't remember the date.
Yeah. I'll look that up. I'll put that out too. This field trip, Yeah. And if you ever have to go to the Capitol, we left San Jose at 8:00. It was a really easy, beautiful train ride. And we just watched the traffic on 80 buckle right up. And it was green. And you go along the water by, is it Corbett or Crockett? Places you never go, you would never see that are there. It's really beautiful train ride. And then it lets you off right there by the basketball arena, something one. And we were right there at the Capitol. And that was very convenient. Yeah. And the train, it was full. Every stop packing to go to the hands-off day. Any other places to loop into that you guys know about that we don't know about? Any questions? Any suggestions?
I had a question.
Yeah.
On each of those groups that was listed, is there a place we could find more information about them individually, or should we just show up to their meetings?
On the subgroups within Indivisible, like the economic one?
Yeah.
So Amanda, that's probably a better question for you and Jenny to answer. Did you hear the question?
It's hard to hear. What did he say?
On any of those subgroups, your action groups within Indivisible. So first you connect to get the email to somebody in the group. And then a question was raised, like, do you just attend a meeting or?
Here, yeah. Well, if you connect with me, then I send that your email and your name to the facilitator of the group you're interested in or groups, and then that facilitator will send an email to you about when the meeting is, and you just show up.
Okay.
Yeah, you just show. They add your name to their list, and then you just attend the meeting. And if it's not a good fit, or you don't, I mean, it's not something you have to go to or anything. But if some people choose one or two, And maybe they say, oh, this one fits me better. So I'm just going to go to the Health and Human Services one and maybe not to the economic one. You know, it's up to you which one you want to join. And if you go to a meeting and it's just something that you're not that interested in, that's fine too. There's no obligation.
And every day there's new subgroup meetings that we could form.
Yeah.
To the next actions. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question I've been wondering for a long time. So we wrote postcards, I don't know, several years ago, maybe it was when Obama was running for president. And there are a lot of campaigns of writing postcards, and I've always wondered if there have been any good studies as to the impact of that. One likes to think that what they're doing has an impact and they're not just doing to make themselves feel good. At least that's how I feel.
There has been studies that there is a slight, it does make a difference. I mean, they're not quite as effective as, say, a call or knocking on the door, but I see it as you get something in the mail. It's not obtrusive. It's not like a call that, you have to answer the phone. You get this in the mail. You can look at it. A lot of people, or I don't know if a lot do, but some will put it on their refrigerator to remind them to vote, because mostly they are to tell people, make sure you get out the vote. They're mostly get out the vote postcards. So I think people, if they don't look at the postcard and say, damn it, I got another postcard. It's, they're pretty much very non-obtrusive, and they do make a difference. I've had people have knocked on doors, and like in Swing Left, and they've gone inside to talk to the people, and the person has showed them a postcard that they got, that they had saved. So yeah.
And I think there's some, I was talking to someone.
Casey. Oh, sorry.
Hi, Casey.
Casey, hi.
Jump on in.
But you're late. But I was just going to join in about the postcards and letters. It's about a 1% difference, but in the elections that are so clearly decided, 1% of that precinct can really, really make the difference. So it's important. And then with the whole idea of marketing, you want, like, they say that a person needs to hear something 5 times.
Right.
In different ways. So they hear it on the phone, they get a postcard, they get a letter, someone knocks on their door, they see an ad on TV, whatever, it all adds up. So it definitely does have an effect.
Yeah. And I think that
Sister District did a big study a few years ago, and I put a link in the chat to that study too. So,
and I'm in Sister District South Bay because I split my time between here and Pelican. So yeah.
So it's like a proper, like, actual study. It has an abstract.
Yeah.
And
they have scientific ways. They do that thing about they have to see it 5 times. They'll have campaigns where they send the first batch of postcards, and then they'll send a second one to the, and they only target they target Democratic voters, mostly voters that aren't voting or haven't voted for a while. So they're not targeting Democrats that go to the polls all the time. They're trying to get those people and independents that don't vote, and they're trying to convince them to vote. That's the big push.
I know when there were people walking in Reno, people weren't mad, but they were having, oh, you're the 3rd person from Swing Left come by over the course of several months. But that's how important that seat was. And but I never get postcards because I always vote, but I like going after people that sometimes vote, that just need a little
push,
nudge. And it's hard for us to imagine people not voting, but even if you just vote for one issue, one person, just voting is a good audience to target, because we have to get beyond just the high propensity, never miss an election voters. Because they know everything, but yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, suggestions?
I have one.
Go fire away.
I'm going to call it a question / suggestion. And at least 3 people in the room are in education or have an educational background. And I wonder if there wouldn't be room for an 11th group that is about youth outreach and just youth engagement, or if that falls under education.
Put a QR code on the banner.
Yeah, they're all about the QR code.
You'll have youth engagement.
Yeah.
So that's my question / suggestion.
Well, if you're interested in that and you want to form a group,
Oh yeah,
there you go. That would be, we would be so happy to have an 11th group. And I can send you information about how to do it. It's really to form a group. You just find people who are interested like you are, and then you schedule a meeting and you develop a very simple agenda, and then you have discussions that go along with the agenda, and then you write minutes and send them to everybody and schedule another meeting. And that's how the groups get formed. So if you're interested, you can contact me, Jenny at Indivisible Santa Cruz County.com.
I'm already trying to think of people to volunteer for this. Young,
There's Cabrillo, UCSC.
18-year. I know there should be at some of their Cabrillo College fairs.
Yeah.
Isn't the Senate committee still include UCSC students?
Yeah.
Well,
but it is Indivisible. Yeah, I wonder. I'm wondering. I'd have to ask Cabrillo, about partisan kind of things at some of their student affairs events.
Well, we're technically a nonpartisan organization.
Yeah.
We're a 501c4, so we're technically a nonpartisan, and we've had a nationally Republican groups that have been part of Indivisible. So we're just political. So that's not a 501c3, but we are technically nonpartisan.
Good to know.
Yeah, I'd like to share something that came up just today in a meeting I had this afternoon with the Department of Education, the California Partnership Academy Advisory Committee, and it came up from one of the speakers, one of the presenters, talked about the ACEs, the Adverse Childhood Experiences survey and test, and they said that they had been hearing from people who are identifying unfunded, from students that are began to identify unfunded programs as, it's on their radar. And I just thought that's just so sad. That along with malnutrition, poverty, and child abuse, now this is coming up on the radar. And I don't think you could possibly do too much in the direction of engaging some of these folks. So I'll talk to Bill about. I'll be wanting to try to put something together.
And we had some young people at our last meeting.
Exactly. I was thinking they might be people to contact, and you have their contact.
Yeah. We'll sign them up. While you were gone.
Yeah, right.
We signed you up, and you are now the chapter president for the county-wide. Yeah. No, but it needs to be, the messenger needs to not be, yeah. Wonderful. What other favorite to-dos, or have we missed any I's or T's that have crossed? This is all very hopeful. It's a matter of like the where, but your targeted areas are helpful because it's the everything all at once. Everything burning down anew. Yeah. Is Indivisible on Substack?
It's on Central.
Leah and Ezra write stuff more on like Medium here and there. But they do a which it's really kind of incredible, and I find it very hopeful and uplifting. Leah and Ezra, they're the co-founders of Indivisible. They're a married couple. They have weekly calls. You can go to like the indivisible.org website and register every week. On Thursdays at noon, they just have an hour-long kind of like get together, let's talk. They talk for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then the rest of the time is all questions from people. And there's sometimes like 5,000 people on the call. So they try to get to as many questions or consolidate questions. So just go, it's like if you just kind of scroll down just a little bit on the homepage of indivisible.org, you can sign up. And it's just nice to like go and connect with other people across the country and kind of get like, they put the strategy and they answer like, what is this thing happened today? And what does that mean? Like, what can we do about this? And then they'll break it down and say, you know, but you can actually like interact with them. So it's not just like a one-way webinar. I've found those very helpful, and I'm sad that I can't go every single week, but every Thursday at noon our time, they have those.
Wonderful. It was really exciting to see hands-off protests in places like Idaho and Utah and Montana, Minnesota, I mean, Vermont, like Virginia. It was very
I have a question for Indivisible Santa Cruz. And sorry, again, I apologize, I got here late, but I'm in La Selva Beach, and I see Mr. Hurst, who's in Watsonville. So I've seen on Facebook that there is an Indivisible South County, but is that still like up and running? Because for me to like drive, well, you know how the traffic is. When I'm in town, I've sometimes gone to the vigils on Wednesday at the clock tower, but the traffic is such a pain.
Right.
Yeah.
They're a South County chapter?
Yeah, they've been they kind of turned into like a postcard writing group for a while, and now they're also kind of reactivating. So we did like a regional press release for Saturday. So a lot of times they meet at oh my gosh, what's Jenny Beach Old, Public House.
Yeah.
So they've been working and meeting with Jenny and working, you know, so they've been having postcard writing parties, and Jenny's been hosting them. So yeah, there's, and they still have a Facebook group going. If you're part of the Facebook group, you can join their Facebook group and get kind of up to date. Like if they're having a postcard writing, or, you know, they put stuff about the Saturday event. So they're starting to kind of reactivate.
Yeah, Olivia, and it's called Indivisible South
Olivia
County.
Millard.
Yeah. Wonderful. There's it's only been 3.5 months. So.
Longest year ever.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, but and that is, you know, we're going to have to pace ourselves, take breaks, because this is a long shuffle, a long haul, and marathon. Yeah, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So, yeah. Well, this is exciting. You'll be hearing from us, and hopefully, you come anytime. You know, we have this hybrid monthly gathering, and folks are. I know. I saw you had Crazy George all the way hailing from Rio Del Mar at the Hands Off Parade. Drumming up support. That's my pun for the day. But
he was key when we had all the technical issues with the sound system. It was such a, I mean, that happens.
That happens, and you know, hopefully.
What do you do in the moment? You just go with what you have. I mean, you can't.
Pivot. Yeah. If anybody has any questions or last minute, go for it. Jump in. Thanks for everybody attending here online. I feel like Miss Marianne, you know, I see Beth, I see Sarah, but it's so good to see all of you, even though I don't see you. I'm just so glad to have everybody here personally. It's been wild. So we all care very deeply about this community, our democracy, the future of our country. our seniors, people that are living on the fringe, who can't maybe dedicate hours and hours and hours to this effort, who rely on support from people in the community who are very invisible. So
Yep.
we're so thankful for all that you're doing.
Yay, everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
you, yes.
And I know that you are all doing hard work too, and
yeah, exactly.
so we appreciate all of your effort too, and for
Yeah.
showing up. It's huge.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Show up.
And here we are. Once we got over that bitter pill, I'm
Uh-huh.
still chewing on the final remnants of that bitter pill.
Yeah,
It takes me longer than most beef, but here we are.
yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Well done.
You're gonna send us all
Yeah.
that information?
I'm gonna whip it all together,
Great.
and the slides from today, and the websites that were mentioned. I'll send those with live links, and then
Supposed to go out in the email.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold everybody's.
Like
I don't think we have one.
Oh,
good.
That way the shop.
Yeah,
Probably Tuesday for somebody wanted, like.
yeah. I will.
Back room and chairs.
That could happen. That could fabulously
Some of
happen.
them for like high school, they want to get that up there, contact me and I'll make it done.
And it's in SoCal.
It's somehow the parking, never a problem with parking.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of obscure range hard and
Yeah.
weird in elementary school.
Yeah.
So lots of parking and management.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
more than that. I feel like I'm doing that.
I know. And writing, I have knocked on doors. It takes us